I wanted to do a Q&A series, a flipping cars, questions and answers. A lot of people often comment on my videos and they often comment with a question. So here we go with the first one. So I was asked, how do you raise enough money to get into the flipping cars business? How do you go about raising enough starting capital? Now, some people don't even need to ask this question. They'll have some spare cash or they'll have some savings. But what about for everybody else? Now, you have to take it back a step before you can go into how much money do you need to get into this business. You need to ask yourself, what sort of car or vehicle are you going to sell? So are you going to get into commercials and sell vans? A great way to start in this business. Are you going to get into selling first-time driver cars? Again, another great way to get into this business. Will you go for older cars with low miles or newer cars with higher miles? Will you go for sports and prestige? Will you go for classics? Will you go for performance cars? There's so many different types of vehicles that you can go for, and that will tell you how much money you need to get into this business. It's recommended to start off with 3 cars where possible, because that way you've always turned in a couple of cars, and if a car's gone, you've always got something in stock so you don't grind to a halt. So it's really important that you try and get yourself into a position to buy yourself 3 cars. Now, there's times of the year, for instance, Christmas, birthdays, etc., you may receive presents where you could have actually asked for cash instead. Or if there's presents that you do not want, maybe try and flip those on. There's people on YouTube who are flipping furniture, etc., or flipping goods from Facebook marketplace groups. They're buying in bulk and then flipping them on to make additional money before they get into either flipping cars or flipping houses and that type of business. There's plenty of other ways as well, isn't there? Now, you could leverage debt. Have you got a good credit rating? Can you access a credit card or a loan with a good rate of interest? That's a way to sort of leverage debt against buying an asset where you're going to make more money than the debt would have cost you. So that's another way to get into it. It's like stocking finance in a way, isn't it? Stocking finance is another question I'm sure someone's going to ask me about, but we won't cover that in this Q&A session here. Can you borrow some funds from friends or family? Can you partner with someone who's got some working capital? You may be time rich, they may be cash rich. Can you share that profit from the sale of vehicles by partnering together? What about your own equity? What products or what things do you have that has equity within it? So for instance, do you drive a 10 grand car, for example? Do you need to drive that 10 grand car? Can you sell it? And maybe buy a 5 grand car, for instance, giving you 5 grand of working capital for you to get going in this business. That can apply to anything, can't it, as well? Do you have different things within your house, gaming consoles, etc., that you maybe don't use as much, and you could sell that on and then invest into your business? What about if you have no money whatsoever? Can you still start this business? And the answer is yes, of course you can. There's lots of people who do not want the time and the hassle of selling their vehicle. They don't want to give up their weekends. They don't want people coming around knocking on the doors. They don't want to do test drives, etc. So for instance, you could go onto a Facebook car selling page and approach people and say, look, I can see you selling a car. You could do it on Auto Trader as well, or on Gumtree, on eBay Motors, on Car Gurus, or anywhere else that sells cars, and approach people and say, how about I sell your car on sale or return basis for you? What is the price you want for that car? What is the lowest you'll take for it? And then you add your margin onto that car. So you could actually have 2 or 3 cars on the go for other people and sell them for them. Maybe do professional photography on those vehicles. Are you good with a camera? Maybe do that for them and say, look, go onto these websites, look for people who have photoed their cars poorly, listed a poor description. Can you help them sell that car and get some better money out of it? So there's ways to get into this business even if you have no money. Now, obviously, if you have friends or family, or if you've got access to some cash through leveraging debt or whatever else, there are ways where you can get into it straight away. For some people, it'll be a bit more of a longer journey. For others, they can leap straight in. Whatever you decide to do, good luck on your journey. Hope you enjoy these videos. And if you do have any questions, please leave that in the comment section below, and make sure you subscribe so you do not miss the next series of questions on the Flipping Cars Q&A.